Hey everybody, Bobo the Vulture's here, and it's been a while, but it's time to play some Gran Turismo 2, because I got the PlayStation hooked up and stuff. Let's get back into it with a bang, shall we? Yes, I think we shall. 580, I believe that was right around the horsepower limit that we were going to need for an endurance event here. So the Apricot Hill 200? Yeah. Although before we do that, let's go to get I say let's go to get hard compound tires, but it's entirely possible I've already thought of that and got hard compound tires for this car, but I don't really remember. So we're gonna have to check. Let's go into the tire shop, huh? Racing slicks. Hard compound. Yes, I did do that already. 'Cause I'm outthinking myself. I've outwitted myself. It's a good thing, too. Because otherwise, my stupidity would go unchecked. Nobody needs that. 591 horsepower sounds like a great idea. Well, 580 horsepower in a 591 horsepower race sounds like a great idea. Let's go ahead and get started. There it is. Right, I forgot I was going to need to tune this car before I did this, wasn't I? Okay, never mind. That's dumb. I needed to adjust the settings first. I feel like a fool now, but that's okay. We're going to go again. We're going to enter the race again, I should say. And this time I will auto-adjust the gear ratios out a little bit, because it's only a 5-speed transmission. Nowadays, that's... Let's set it out to 10 and run a test run and see whether or not that is not wide enough, or rather is too wide. Probably too wide. But we're going to see. It's still a pretty nice, fun, tossable car. I wonder whether or not it's going to retain those characteristics once the tires wear down. Alright, let's keep this going now. You, me, them, everybody. I'm still gonna hit the top end here, aren't I? And you know what? I think that's actually still going to be a good ratio for this course overall. I was beginning to get some weak spots in the lower end of the range because of how crazily turbocharged this crazy little car is. I like the way this car is performing so far. Less than one lap into the race, I'm quite pleased with my decision. Redline Oil is a, I get it confused with Lucas Oil sometimes, which I suppose isn't necessarily fair to either one. They're both distinct brands with distinct products, I'm sure. But Redline Oil will occasionally sponsor some variety of sort of low-level motorsports events, and Lucas Oil will do similar things. They do a lot of things with what you might consider fringe motorsports. Like, I think there's a show called Lucas Oil on the Edge. I know it's extreme, but they do things like show you the I suppose there's more than one place that does it, but there's short track in Florida, I know that's especially famous for it, where they do races on a figure-8 course. A figure-8, and it's not like Suzuka where there's a crossover, there's like a bridge, and you drive onto the track while other people are driving over the track or whatever. It's literally like there's a figure-8. There's an intersection, there's a junction, whatever you want to call it. It's probably not the fastest way around for purposes of retaining my tires in decent nick, but it's fun and so far it's working. I'm gonna be satisfied with this as long as I stay up front. And yeah, I'm building a tidy lead right now. I'm gonna guess that car in second place is the GT40, because GT40s tend to be ridiculously out in front of every race that they ever get in, ever, certainly in this game. And the Gran Turismo 2. In Gran Turismo 2, the GT40 is given amazing godlike powers. As well it should have. Because it's a pretty remarkable car in the overall history of motorsport. So, you know, full marks for making the GT40 an amazing car. It would be nice if the computer couldn't use it in races where you can't use it, but I'll continue to grouse about that until I find a car that will allow me to deal with those guys. And I believe there is one in the game, but I believe it's one you can't buy. It's one you have to win in an endurance race. I don't remember off the top of my head whether this is the endurance race in which you can win it, but I did remember that we got this car to win the, whatever it was, the Evolution Trophy. Yeah, the Evolution Trophy was a mystery, but we cracked the case. So I feel pretty confident that we'll be able to solve this mystery too, using the same amazing tool. That's right, car, I just called you an amazing tool. This really does, at least when tires are in good shape, forgive you flicking out the rear end and having a little bit of a slide, which is nice, because it's a fun way to go around. So yeah, it's been a while since I've played the game. It's been a while. How have you guys all been? That's good. I've been busy. I moved. Not to like a different town or anything, but I did move homes. So yeah, I no longer live with Red. So, you know, for the handful of people that were still eagerly anticipating more episodes of Legend of Dragoon, it might be a while longer yet. Which is unfortunate. I don't like starting LPs and then not being able to finish them. Really ate away at me there that basically I had to wait until almost a year later, if not, yeah, not quite a year later, I think, to finish Tenchu Stealth Assassins, even using the debug code for just the final video. But I don't like having series that are left undone. Of course, this game right now, in terms of all the games that I'm LPing right now, is probably the closest to being able to finish. Because I got this, and there's what, the 2 other endurance races? Give those a video each. I guess there's a couple of races, a couple of manufacturer races for Honda that I haven't won yet. I'd have to go back and double check again, but I think I've won all of the European ones and all of the American ones. So basically there's 2 more endurance races. There are a couple of rally events, which I could knock out in one video if I decided to take out Monster Tajima's Escudo Pikes Peak car. By the way, folks, if you are so interested, there is a video on GoPro's website, or not GoPro's website, it's probably on their website too, but on GoPro's YouTube channel. Of course, GoPro has an interesting YouTube channel because, you know, they make onboard, they make like sports cameras, like the kind you would use if you were out of the way, zit face. I braked a little late there, but it's okay. But they make things like the little cameras that you clip onto your helmet if you're bicycling around, or if you're scuba diving, or... and they show you different cool things that you can do with them. Like clip it onto your snowboard, And as you're shooting the curl, you can aim it, you can put it on your surfboard and aim it back at you so that people can see what you're doing while you're surfing. Shooting the curl, man. But let's not kid ourselves. Probably one of the biggest clients for GoPro is people that want onboard cameras in their cars to record their racing exploits. And they have a video of Monster Tajima, who I think is now in his 60s, but still races up Pikes Peak hill climb in, and I guess, ooh, darn it. That was just completely losing focus. Sorry about that, folks. But he still does the Pikes Peak hill climb. At least as of like 2013, 2014, he was doing it still. He competes in the now he competes in the electric car category. I guess he was citing environmental concerns. There's a little like mini interview with him in the video on the GoPro channel. It's mostly a video of him attempting to break his record time going up the hill. By the way, the overall time, the overall best time going up the hill is held by Sebastian Loeb, World Rally Champion. Hey, nice car, buddy. Could have stood to prep it a little bit more for this race, but I like it. So yeah, it's a video that features him, and it shows him going up the hill. And I didn't realize until I saw the onboard, but they've pretty much paved the entire hill climb now. It was a dirt track as of when this game was made, admittedly like 15 years ago, but still. It's pretty much a paved road now. I'm actually really interested in going there one day. Next time I have a trip out to Colorado, I can go up to Pikes Peak. But yeah, Monster Tajima raced some of the most interesting cars going up there. Like, one of the Unsers, I think it might have been Bobby Unser, actually held a record, may actually still hold a record for, he raced an Indy car up the hill once. But the overall record now held by Sebastian Loeb, a World Rally Championship driver who is considered by many to perhaps be the greatest rally driver of all time. Little Frenchman. Talented fella, as it turns out. So let's see, how could we evenly divide down 50? I don't think these tires are going to make it 20 laps, and I've already gone past 10. So okay, if we divided 50 by 2, you get 25. If we divided 50 by 3, you would get, let's see, 1. Wow, doing basic math while also attempting to race is more challenging than I would have anticipated. So it'd be 1 and drop to 2. So 3 into 20 is 6. So it'd be 16 remainder 2. I guess I can go 16 laps remainder 2. Sure. I mean, heck, I might be able to get 25 laps. I honestly don't know. These laps are going by faster than I was anticipating. This is going nicer than I expected. I say that not knowing exactly how far back it is to my nearest competitor. I know I've lapped some people at this point, but then again, so might my nearest competitor have. But yeah, Monster Tajima still raises up Pikes Peak. He raises up Pikes Peak in an electric car. And so, GoPro has a video of him having, I believe it was his run in 2013. I'm not sure. It might be his 2012 run. Plays some kind of weird music, goes with it. But kind of most interesting, in addition to just, you know, good footage of Monster Tajima climbing up the hill, is listening to the electric car, because, you know, they say that electric cars are completely silent, you know, because they're always like, oh, we need to, like, make a, we need to install something that makes noise on cars so that pedestrians know that they're coming on these electric cars. And, you know, like, there are certain go-karts or cars or whatever that will, like, make a beeping noise when you're driving them around so that people know that it's coming. If you're setting up your electric vehicle to race, you are probably pushing the electric motor to the point where it will make some noise. Makes a very strange whining noise, as a matter of fact, is what it does. Alright, so if we go for lap 16, I say, as I notice the front's starting to get a little orange, we go for lap 16, then after that we would be on lap 32 to follow. 32, 40, 68, yeah. Yeah, this was not the way through here, but it's been fun. It's been fun. So that's good. But yeah, let's see. What else has been going on lately? That'll be the thing I'll have to miss about doing these endurance races once they're all done. I won't be able to blog about my, or vlog about my life. Oh, too late. Yeah. So I was thinking so much about my life that I forgot to brake, which of course was a poor life choice. Some would argue that playing games on the internet is a poor life choice to begin with, but if you're gonna do that, come on, at least do it well, right? Okay. So... yeah, the car's getting slightly more oversteery. Although, honestly, that's a better behavior to settle into once the tires are all worn out than getting overly oversteery. Understeery, it's a slower way around, maybe, but it's more predictable. I'm about to lap somebody else. Yeah, I know. It's hard getting that braking point right, isn't it, buddy? I think that guy might want to come in for new tires, too. Who's this handsome fellow I'm about to pass? Boy, I swear, you get a car like this and you see yourself coming and going. Actually, I did see a Lancer Evo out on these streets. Not today, but yesterday. Could have been today because I was not out on the streets today. I was walking down the streets today. Out on the road today, I saw a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. And then I saw a Black Flag sticker on a Cadillac, and I thought, wait a minute, what's going on? Am I playing my Ataris? Ha ha ha. No, oh man, you got me looking at myself in the mirror. You made me commit a sin of vanity and pride. Alright, buddy, you're a lapped car. You really ought to just give it up. He'll give it up here. Alright, so I'm gonna need some tires soon. Oh, geez, that's the other thing that, of course, has happened lately. If you haven't noticed, of course, I'll need to go back and make sure that I put them into my guest starring playlist, but I've played a couple of games with Surfall recently in celebration of his C64 Sundays. One of them was a game, I think, by Epix called Pit Stop 2. And we've done a couple so far. I think one of them was Racing Destruction Set, which Zerf and I did fairly evenly on. It was good back and forth, and it was a fun event. But then we did Pit Stop 2. Pit Stop 2, a far more simulation-y sort of game in terms of racing. I mean, it's a lot like pole position, so it's not like super simulatory, but at the same time, it simulated like tire wear and running out of fuel, and you need to make a pit stop, and then you go into the pit stop and you have to control your crew members. Now, you can only have two over the wall at once, and they can't both be moving at the same time, so it's not the most faithful recreation in the world possible, but this is not exactly a full pit stop here, is it? Pit stop. Go! Oh wow, the car is responding to my turning the steering wheel. This is new. I haven't experienced this in a while. I'm gonna have to get used to it. This car is a lot of fun, though. I have to admit, the most fun cars in these games tend to be the little tiny super lightweight cars, which I'll admit, those I find a lot of fun to drive in real life. And then these super crazy all-wheel drive endless grip cars are also super fun. Which is interesting because they have a lot of power, but they have a lot of grip, so they're still manageable. The super tiny lightweight cars tend to not have a whole lot of grip. They tend to have little-ish, skinny-ish tires, but they don't require a lot of grip because they don't have a lot of power. So the balance is still the same in terms of grip to power, but everything is achieved on a smaller scale. Which is more fun, because, you know, I've driven some not insanely powerful, but certainly able to get out of their own way cars with all-wheel drive, and they're fine and smooth and good cars to handle and take around and such, but they weren't exactly like making you go like, huh, this car is fun while you're driving around, because of course it's sort of well within its core competencies of just driving around at you know, 70 miles an hour or whatever it is you're going to get on regular old streets. And you're not exactly going to be like tossing and turning it super quickly, just because there's more heft to be carried around. You're not going to be hustling it the same way you would a little car. But that said, for a super fast car in a video game, this is super fun. This is super cool. And I dig that about it. So yeah. So there was those. And I think I imagine I'll be making other appearances in Zerfall's C64 Sundays collection. They might not even all be racing games. Oh. Although that apparently, like, now that I've been playing Gran Turismo games, that's a niche that some people see for me, is like, hey, he's the guy that plays the racing games. I should get a racing game out and play it with him, or tell him about it. Because there's not a whole lot of a story to a lot of these racing games. I guess there's a couple of Need for Speed games that attempt to have plots now. Like, what was it? Need for Speed, was it Carbon? Where you're playing a, like, undercover cop trying to get into some kind of, like, oh, become a wheelman and gain the confidence of the cartels or something. Through racing missions. But really. Hey, your little Supra is cute. I have to admit, that's the other fun part about this sort of thing. Is, I mean, I feel like they have enough cred now that people know and people will notice something like this, but, more or less on the outside. This is a Mitsubishi Lancer, which is... it's a little economy car. It's not a thing that is styled up for sporting out and going super fast. It's basically Mitsubishi's answer alternative to your sister's Corolla, you know, which is no knock against your sister's Corolla. My sister had a Corolla for like let's see, 18 years. 18 years. And, and I don't think in the end it actually broke down on her. I think she just got to the point where she was like, hey, I think she had a baby. She wanted something with, maybe a little more room for baby stuff, and maybe something with a little more safety equipment, you know. I think the 96 Corollas had side impact door beams, but of course nobody was making side impact airbags back then. Someone will, I'm sure, quickly point out to me that Mercedes was at the time or something like that, but you know what I mean. They weren't like something you would get in a regular car. They were something you might find in some fancy place, but probably not even there. It wasn't really a consideration at the time. This was the 90s. We all figured we were all going to die with the Y2K bug. So we figured we didn't need cars that would be super safe because we're all just going to die in a couple of years anyway. Y2K was going to take us all down. I mean, I guess there were people who had legitimate fears that, like, missile silos would, like, the computers on missile silos would fail, and they would launch all the nukes or something, but I don't feel like that can/should actually be able to happen without a human being saying, like, yep, it's time to launch the missiles. I don't think there's a computer that can, like, launch the missiles all on its own. I might be mistaken, and I suppose if there are any national security experts watching this video right now, they might drop a little knowledge on you and us all. But if they don't, that's okay too. We can all just sit on in silent wonder and think, there's no way that automated systems could fire nuclear missiles and destroy the world. You know what? I'm sure that we've all seen Terminator movies. I'm sure we've all seen war games. And we all realize, no, man, if you give computers sole control over launching nuclear missiles and make take the human portion of the equation out of it, then yeah, it's like a 99.9% certainty that eventually the computer will just fire the nuclear missiles because it gets bored or decides that humanity is expendable or realizes this is more exciting than tic-tac-toe or chess. Yeah, just swing the car around these corners. Swing your partner, do-do, now promenade, do-do-do. Now promenade, do-do-do. Yeah. So I moved. I had to get rid of my old scooter, which was quite an adventure as it turned out, because the laws for licensing scooters changed while I was the scooter was essentially in storage. Used to be that in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where the scooter was bought and where it had been used and where it was being stored, that you did not need to license or title or insure scooters of 50cc or below. They were considered like mopeds, basically. So, like, great. So it'll just continue on that way. But no, the law changed while the car was in storage. And so basically then they did need, I can't remember whether they needed insurance, but they definitely needed tags and titles now. Oh no. Here it comes. I feel fairly confident that if I can make this, I will have lapped the field. That's a good feeling and a good thing to do for safety's sake. You know what? I'll just stay behind you for these little S-bends. Oh, maybe I won't. Yeah, how you like this Mulsanne Straight, bitch? Mulsanne Straight is a mile-long stretch of road in the Le Mans track in France. Hey, how's it going back there? I hear you knocking. But you can't come in. You folks at home liking how the legendary sports car from the 1960s is being beaten by the economy car with a big turbocharger in it from the from the 90s. I know there is more to the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution than that. Plus, this one has been tuned out of its ever-loving mind beyond that. But still, it's fun. The all-conquering, all-singing, all-dancing sports car phenomenon that was the GT40 is getting past. Oh, by the way, before this video started, I did sell the Speed 12 that I'd won in the previous video, which came out, what, like a month ago or something like that? Yeah. It's been a while since I've touched on this series. I recognize it. You folks at home know it. It's nothing to be ashamed of, everyone. It's just a way things are. Yeah. I'm liking this. Yeah, you guys remember when Mysterious JG and I played Army of Two, the 40th day, and the Army of Two, the first one, whatever it is. I imagine we'll eventually get back to doing DLC for Army of Two, the 40th day, and perhaps then move on to Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel. But whatever happens, JG and I will continue on more exciting adventures. Whee! I think we're in the midst of some variety of Warriors game right now, whether it's a Warriors Orochi or something like that. But you guys know all that stuff. You know what's on his channel. You know what's on my channel, hopefully, because you're watching this. I've got a couple of things going right now. I'm, of course, still continuing on with Fallout 3. I'm pleased with how that LP is going. I'm also really pleased with how those videos are coming out. The nice thing about that being that basically just through a feature that just came with an update package of my graphics card. Doing game capture now. The GPU will attempt to process game footage for you and record it and all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, thanks, man. Shadow play, I believe it's called. It's a thing that I guess newer NVIDIA cards can do, or NVIDIA cards can do with newer patches. And granted, I've only ever used it to record the ancient by modern standards Fallout 3, but for that it's worked spectacularly well. So I've been well pleased with that. So yes, Fallout 3 is still going on. I've got Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. JG and I are rolling out new episodes of whenever we can. He's actually going to be by here tomorrow. We'll get some footage down. And boy, that game is, in many respects, just as I remember. Very brief periods of gameplay interspersed by ridiculously long cinematics. I mean, I'd have to double check my sources, but I'm pretty sure the ratio of gameplay to cinematics is inverse. It's underwater, or however you want to look at it. There are more hours of cinematics in that than there are hours of gameplay, unless you're intentionally slowing down your gameplay. That's just, I mean, at that point you're just doing a, I mean, if it's an action game, as that one is, it's tactical espionage action. I mean, I could see if it was like an adventure game or a puzzle game or something like that, if it was a point and click, and there were some cinematics involved, and then you had to, like, it got interspersed with times when you're like, hey, what are you going to do to solve this particular situation? Although even then, I imagine that would get irksome, because it'd be like, hey, I want to interrupt what is going on in this sequence. The evil genius is explaining the evil plan. I want to stop them and stab them with this letter opener that I picked up earlier in the game. Sorry, buddy, the letter opener is just an item that you picked up for points. It won't actually become to any use later on. You got the letter opener. Bling, 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 bling. Get the little picked up items music, so. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good time. I'm having a good time, because I think we're going to win this, and I'll be excited to see what kind of cool car I get for it. I got a cool car, right? Oh, there I go again, on my own. 33, 40, 7, 8, 9. What if I get one more lap out of these? Get up to 34. That'd be good. That should help. I'm not under any pressing threat from other drivers. Yeah, the thing about Pit Stop 2 was your tires took damage. And if your tires took enough damage, you would actually lose. You'd be taken out of the race. So, in that way, Pit Stop 2 is more realistic than Gran Turismo. Because you don't get taken out of Gran Turismos from that sort of thing. If I forget, I'm trying to remember, there was damage replication in one of these games. It might have been this one. And I might have mentioned it earlier and just decided I was going to go without. Alright, the fronts are beat red now. Let's go ahead and pull on in here. Pull on in the Dowdy. Pit work is in progress, folks, so please respect the pit workers. Yeah, it wasn't the best lap because it took a pit stop in the middle of it. Ready, go! Nice. Let's just continue to cruise along here. I should have prepared more remarks for this event. I like Apricot Hill Speedway. I feel like this is one that I can't remember now. This may have been one of the ones. I know this appears in other games, but I don't know if it appears as frequently. I do believe this is a fictitious track, as at this point in the Gran Turismo series, most tracks are. I think it's pretty much gone around the other way now, and most of the tracks in Gran Turismo are actual real race circuits. Some of that just from the natural pressure of, you know, part of the game's big push is realism, so you give them real tracks. Part of it is, I think, also Forza made a concerted effort to go for real tracks once they started putting stuff out. I'm less familiar with the early Forza Motorsport titles, though. The only one I've played at all thoroughly, and even that one I haven't played the whole way through, is Forza 4, and I've also played Forza Horizon some. That's a game I actually wouldn't mind LPing because, yeah, it's silly and you wander around the city and stuff like that, but it's sort of an open universe style racing game, and there was at least the pretense of a plot in it, which is kind of fun. Everybody enjoys a pretend plot, right? You guys enjoying your pretend plot? Yeah, so here we go. Also, it turned out to be an exceptional pain in my rear to get my car swapped over from, I moved from one state to another. Didn't move very far because I was living near state lines in both cases. Yeah. And it occurred to me as I was looking at the inspection and odometer readings and stuff like that, I've had my car for 8 years, and it shows no sign of giving up. Of course, it has less than 100,000 miles on it even. I drive very little anymore. I don't drive actually on a daily basis because I work in the city, so I take transit in. Because parking costs like 20 bucks a day. Or you can rent a space in a parking deck for like starting at $250 a month. Hey, it's you again. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's also ridiculous that taking the train in or whatever will cost you like $4 or $5 a trip, but that's still way better than 20 bucks. So yeah, I only use the car on the weekends. Someday, a used car salesman is going to sound like a liar when they describe how my car was used. But it's the truth. I was even trying to update my insurance information and tell them about my mileage and how it's different, and they said, "Are you sure you only drive that little? I mean, come on. Nobody drives that little, do they? Are you sure you even know what a car is and how it works?" Like, yes. Yes, I do. I went to Advance Auto Parts the other day and bought parts. It was exciting. When I mean parts, I mean like some tools, because I couldn't get the darn license plates off. But that's a whole other point. Haha. Also, tire pressure gauge. Actually, I already had one, but I wanted to get one for Bean. She did not have one. Having a tire pressure gauge is important. Otherwise, you would not know how much tire pressure you have going on. I suppose fancy modern cars sometimes have internal tire pressure monitoring systems. I have no idea whether they are accurate or whether they are true and good and work properly. I imagine they vary just like any other kind of product you end up having. Yes, my apologies. I've thrown us both off here now, friend. All right. So I feel confident about winning this one, which I guess I didn't in the last one of these. Don't bring your most powerful, fastest open category car out here. Just bring a car that's pretty good. That turned out to be one of the most excruciating experiences, hair-raising times of our lives, didn't it? Whereas this just seems to be a little cruise, a little four-wheel drift down Easy Street. I'm okay with that. I'm more than okay with that. Especially since I haven't played the game in a while, so it'd be nice to be able to just get back into the habit. Also, because it's late. I'm playing this game in the early morning. It's actually not as late as I've played this game before in the past, but my schedule has turned me into more of a normal person at this point. In terms of sleep cycles, I should say. I'm still a weirdo otherwise. But, let's see. What are all the... But yeah, in terms of the tracks that, the real-life, real-world tracks that Gran Turismo has, they have Le Mans, eventually. I'm trying to think of the first real-world track that they have. Is it Suzuka? Are there any real-world tracks in this game? I don't know that there are. I think in the third game, I can't remember if Suzuka's in the third game, but Motegi I think is. Twin Ring Motegi, which is Japanese course. That has multiple configurations it can be set up in. IndyCar used to race there on an oval course, and there's also a road course there. Although interestingly enough, I feel as though at some point in time there was a race at Motegi, and then like in the week beforehand or 2 weeks beforehand there was a big earthquake, and part of the Motegi oval course was damaged, and they're like, well, that's okay, come over here and we'll have a road race. And I think that might have been what they did. I don't remember now off the top of my head though. I do remember that recently there's that big earthquake in Northern California, and the IndyCar series was scheduled to have a race in Sonoma Raceway, which is up in that area. And they went ahead with it because I guess there was nothing wrong with the track, so they're like, the show will go on. Sonoma is also a track that gets used in later Gran Turismo games, although I think in some of them it goes by its one-time corporate sponsor name, Infineon Raceway. I don't know if Sonoma has a name sponsor like that anymore. Oops. There I go again. Yeah, a lot of the racetracks of the real world have gone the way anymore of like classic sports stadiums and things like that, where like they'll name it after, instead of naming it after a person or a feature of the region or something like that, like or a feature of the park. Like, I think, who was it talked to that about? Might have been Zerfall. Yeah, because like The example that came up was the Sky Dome, the Toronto Sky Dome, which I guess is now actually technically named the Rogers Center. But everybody still just calls it the Sky Dome. But it's like, but I mean, some of it will be when it's a new stadium, but things like, I guess the example right around here would be the Redskins used to play at RFK Stadium named after Bobby Kennedy, a you know, well-known Attorney General and relative of the president, and you know, important political figure was assassinated and all this stuff, and his stadium named after him. So the Redskins decide to move. The stadium that they move into is called FedEx Field. And I can just imagine the song now. Has anybody here seen my old friend FedEx? Can you tell me where he's gone? Delivered packages to a lot of people, but the good corporations die young. You turn around and they're gone. Of course, FedEx has been around for a long time, under the name, you know, previously Federal Express. Apparently one of the companies that was the pioneers in overnight mail. They had little private Learjets that would fly very special VIP packages and things. Very exciting stuff. Ouch. But yeah, like, what, in Indianapolis they've got Lucas Oil Stadium, and in Baltimore they've got M&T Bank Stadium. And I forget what it's called now, but didn't Candlestick Park get named something? That is not Candlestick Park? Or maybe it's one of those things where it's like they name the field after a corporate sponsor, and then they say it's like Kellogg's Field at Candlestick Park or something. You're like, alright, whatever. Honestly, it's sad, but anymore, when you hear the name of a ballpark and it's just a regular old name, or a name that doesn't seem to reflect a corporation, you think to yourself, oh man, they couldn't secure corporate sponsorship. They must be doing really not well. But yeah, like Laguna Seca is now Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Sonoma was named Infineon Raceway for a while there. I think it might have been named Big O Tire Speedway for a while. I'm not entirely positive. I can't for the life of me remember what they call Mosport now, which is a road course in Ontario. But it is definitely named after a sponsor. It might be. Is it named like Canadian Tire Raceway? Possibly. Alright, just a couple more laps to go here. I'm not saying that just because I'm beginning to get bored. I'm actually saying that because I'm beginning to get tired. And that's, A, that's not a great way to race, and B, it's probably not a great way to be entertaining. So I don't want to just let you all down here, though. And I'm certainly retaining this recording because I'm going to win the race. And otherwise it would be an hour's worth of effort and recorded footage all gone to pot. And there's no reason for that. Ah, lovely. This is truly a lovely game, though. As little as I have to say as I drive around it, I mean, this is probably, yeah, one of my all-time favorite games. Gran Turismo 2 would certainly be on a list of Desert Island games. Well, I take that back. It's possible that if I were picking out a list of Desert Island games, I might pick something from the racing game. I might only pick one thing from the racing game genre, and I would try and pick the most in-depth game I could imagine. Though this has a lot in it, as you've probably noticed. I mean, I'm trying to go win all the little tiny events and stuff, and it's just taking a while. Also, I'm not even going in. I'm not going back around to get gold medals in all of the license tests, which is something else that you can do. And if you do get all gold in the license tests, for each level, whatever it is, B, like A, B International, A, and all those various levels, you get gold in any one of those, in all the races in any one of those categories. You do get a special car. If I remember right, they're all cars that were like favorites from the first game. I think one of them, I forget which one. If you win them all, you can get the Del Sol LM edition or something. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic there. I just rocked the mic. Don't rock the mic. But I'm not going back to do that. That's more time than I have. I'm not naturally talented enough to do that without, like, spending a lot of time making sure I get each segment right. I'm sure if I did that, overall, I'd be a much better player of this game. But I'm as good a player as you need to be to get along, and it's okay. I do admit that losing out in don't like losing in these racing competitions. It's interesting. It's one category where, like, I try to not be a competitive person even in these, like, versus games. I'm like, oh, you beat me, well, way to go, nice job. If you beat me in a race, I'm like, ugh, so frustrated, this is supposed to be my thing. So know that if you manage to do that to me, and it's not hard, I'm not saying it's hard, I'm not an expert at these, and I try and remind myself of that when I start getting all frustrated about it. But know that if you do that, you really cut me to the core. So, it's okay, though. I do get along, and I do survive. As long as I know how to love, I know I'm still alive. You took a much better line through there. I guess I took a worse line because I was trying to get around you in part, but There we go. This is our victory lap, folks. Take it in. And this will be the lap where I discover that you can have tires explode, and if you do, it's an automatic race over. After 49 3/4 laps. It's happened before, folks. I remember once seeing Mika Hakkinen leading, what was it, the 2001 Spanish Grand Prix? I forget. But he was leading a Grand Prix, and on the final lap, the engine gave out, and he got passed because his car eventually ground down to a halt, and he couldn't go any further. He was leading the race. He had it in the bag. Finish. Oh, see, that is the ridiculous speed difference between the GT40 and other cars considered of its ilk. I was one lap over it, so yes, I had a good tuned car and all the rest of the stuff, but the other cars they considered equals to it, 5 laps down. So 4 laps down on it. And look at the computer trying to maneuver my car with the busted tires, haha lol. How much you guys want to bet they won't be able to take the hairpin down here at the bottom of the fence? You want to bet me $1 million that it will? Oh, you owe me $1 million. You had to go into reverse. That's just silly. It did not have to do that. We're not watching the replay of this hour-long race. Come on. Whew. Yes. We got a big bonus, big bucks. Gets us back up to being a millionaire. New car? Yes. Let's save that game. I like the idea of saving this game. Let's save the date, folks. Get a little save the date card going. It is saving. Do not remove the memory card. Feels like it's taking longer to save than it used to, but that's probably just all in my head. Like the voices. I know they're just in my head. No, stop telling me that. Alright. So yeah. We may as well have a look if the game loads. There it loads. Let's have a look at what we won as a prize. We're not going to take it out and go for a spin or anything. I just want to see what it is. Hey! Yeah! Let's get the infos on this, bros. The Lancia Stratos was the most devastating rally weapon of all time. The people at Audi would probably argue the point, but okay. Styled by legendary designer Bertone, who is famous for making a lot of things that look like wedges. Built by Lancia and powered by Ferrari, 3 straight World Rally Championships in 74, 75, and 76 prove its dominance. To allow the rally car to race, 500 road cars also had to be built. Everything about these cars was clearly designed to make the Stratos a winner. You're a winner, Stratos! The doors, hood, and trunk were fiberglass. The chassis was a stiff steel monocoque with tubular subframes front and rear, while an integral road cage, an integral road cage, not even a roll cage, it's a road cage, providing crash protection. Suspension was an independent setup of front and rear adjustable strides supported by wishbones. Mid-mounted engine layout and a short wheelbase mean that handling was tricky on the limit. Sharp steering and sorry, what did I tell you about being tired? Sharp steering and inboard ventilated disc brakes are all the driver had to rely on to keep control. The road car had tires with soft rubber compound intended to give a less frighteningly sudden loss of adhesion. Ferrari's input was the 2.4-liter V6 engine from the Lamborghini Dino. In the road-going Stratos, it delivered up to 190 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. Oh, when I say from the Lamborghini Dino, I guess technically the original models weren't called Lamborghini Dinos. They were trying to spin off another, maybe, division or name plate, but didn't go anywhere. In the road-going Stratos, it delivered up to 190 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. In the rally cars, it was tweaked to give even more power, with 24-valve cylinder heads and, in some cases, a turbocharger to give up to 400 horsepower. It's clearly no wonder the Stratos proved to be such a success. And this, folks, I think is probably the car I'm going to have to use to take those GT40s in that last championship race. That historic car cup. But we won't get around to trying to do that until next time. And until then, folks, this is Bobo the Vulture, and this is Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. Let's take a look at our accomplishments here before we sign off. The game status, 88.58. I probably won't get up to 97.2 or whatever it is the highest, because I think it may also count the be counting the license tests, and I'm not going to go back and do all the license tests to get gold and everything. But either way, folks, this is Bobo the Vulture, and this is Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. I thank all of you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye now.